Hi, let's talk about how American adults can become B1 in French in a year. My name's Chris. I have a business called OuiCommunicate, and this business allows adults acquire French online in 8 to 12 months. It's designed for speakers of English, adult learners, although younger learners are welcome also. The core of my business is to transform you. Come in one door not knowing French, leave through the other door knowing French. 8 to 12 months. It can't fail. It's not designed to fail. The only reason it can fail is A, you don't do the assignments, B, you give up. Otherwise it works. It does what it's designed to do. And at this stage we'll have to define what we mean by knowing French, because it's somewhat of a vague term. To me, knowing French means understanding what you're doing when you speak, when you're in the process of speaking, understanding what you're doing when you're in the process of speaking French. Understanding what you're trying to achieve when you use French. What are you trying to achieve? We'll talk about this in a second. Knowing how to look for answers within the language. Having the tools to progress independently. Having a sense of measure also. This is the French I know. This is the French I don't know. Knowing how much you don't know. And the last one is having the ability to express the things you would in English as an adult according to your age and circumstances. So it's not about talking at top speed, it's not about scoring at a language test designed by some monopolistic French institution, it's not about meeting standards that were designed by French francophones, because the things they express in French are embedded in their culture. And this is infinitely complex. The slightest choice of adjective or sentence construction might have underlying reasons that we can't even rationalize. So it's about remaining a speaker of English using French the proper way. It's about having a high quality bag of tools before you even go over to France to live there, and understanding what French is as a linguistic system. And this is actually a good catchphrase, bag of tricks versus bag of tools. The polyglots and the influencers have bags of tricks. We want a bag of tools. So to me, knowing French means understanding what you're trying to achieve, understanding your own purpose as a learner, and it's called metacognition. And believe me, lack of metacognition is noticeable in 2 seconds. You just can't fake it. And that's why I'm so hard on polyglots. I can tell straight away. They often don't understand language as a system. It's a bag of tricks. To the majority it looks very impressive because they speak very, very fast, but they also have a very low ceiling. We don't want that. We want a very high ceiling. And the definition of metacognition is it's the awareness and self-regulation of one's own cognitive process, enabling better planning, monitoring and evaluation of learning. So it's understanding your own self as a learner, taking a step back, understanding what you're trying to achieve. How does any of this translate into one of my French classes? Well, for example, I might say, don't worry if you speak slowly now, you have the rest of your life to accelerate that part. That's the elasticity of French, producing and understanding when native speakers speak at you or speak with you. That's the elasticity part. And this will allow me to transition into another point I wanted to make. Language learning has to be strategic. It has to take into account your reality. It means winning the meaningful battles you must and should win, focusing on the now and leaving the things you can't win for later, leaving the battles you can't win for later. An adult might only be able to make room for 2 to 4 hours a week to dedicate to French. How should we use that time? Well, some people will say chat with a French partner, read a storybook, watch a series in French with the subtitles on, do vocabulary repetition, listen to an audiobook. My question is, have you used your time while you were doing these things in a quantifiable way, in a strategic way? Have you moved forward in any way that you can quantify? Once you start to think this way, you start to divide language into separate skills. Small skills, big skills, hard skills, soft skills. A soft skill might be, I spoke about my day with my conversation partner and I don't think I made too many mistakes. But a hard skill is Today I learned how the pronouns work in French. You see the difference? One of the two is vague. The other one is strategic. You know for sure what you learned today. And if all of this seems confusing, I think it's actually good news. If it's confusing, it's actually good news, because this is proof that language learning is complex. It's deeply psychological and strategic. I think you need a guide, I think you need a coach or a teacher to help you through it all. And this is precisely why the language industry looks so much like this reassuring mother figure in the tone it uses. Don't worry, my little puppet, it's all going to be very easy, with a big smile. And that's why so many language teachers have this big syrupy smile. Have you noticed the tone? Because few wish to hear, or few wish to admit, that there's complexity involved. It is psychological, but also practical. Your time constraints, the strategy you're going to follow, and of course linguistic. And we have to combine all of these things. American adults can absolutely learn French between 8 to 12 months and develop a level equivalent to B1 or B2 within a year. That's why my program was developed for that purpose. Find me at OuiCommunicate.com. My name is Chris. I hope this was useful. Hope to meet you very soon. Bye.